For much of the past decade, memory prices followed a familiar cycle of abundance and decline. Periods of oversupply drove costs down, benefiting consumers and device manufacturers alike. But in recent years, that pattern shifted. Prices for RAM, random access memory, a foundational component of modern computing, began to rise again, reflecting deeper changes in the global semiconductor industry. At the center of this shift stood companies like Micron Technology, whose fortunes have long been tied to the volatile memory market. RAM is not a luxury component. It is essential to nearly every digital device, from smartphones and laptops to servers that power cloud computing and artificial intelligence. Because it is produced at massive scale and requires extreme precision, even small disruptions in supply or demand can have outsized effects on pricing. The recent rise in RAM prices did not come from a single event, but from a convergence of structural forces. One of the most significant factors was the deliberate tightening of supply. After years of weak pricing and shrinking margins, major memory manufacturers slowed capital investment. New fabrication plants were delayed or scaled back. Production targets were reduced. For Micron, this marked a strategic shift away from volume growth toward profitability and long-term stability. Similar decisions were made by other large memory producers, collectively reducing the amount of RAM entering the market. At the same time, demand began to change in character. Traditional consumer electronics sales softened, but new uses for memory accelerated rapidly. Data centers expanded to support cloud services. Artificial intelligence models required vast amounts of high-speed memory for training and inference. Automotive systems, once memory light, increasingly depended on RAM for advanced driver assistance and infotainment. In the United States, Micron benefited from renewed attention to domestic semiconductor manufacturing, while also facing uncertainty in global markets that had once driven much of its growth. By the time RAM prices began to rise noticeably, the conditions had already been set. For Micron, the price recovery marked a return to financial footing after a difficult downturn, reinforcing the company's role as one of the world's most influential memory producers.